Welcome back to map number 2 between OpTic and BIG. We just had OpTic absolutely steamroll the German boys over on Vertigo, of course.
Yep.
But that's kind of what we expected. We did preface it with the fact that BIG are a new team. They haven't played this map. Can't really look too deeply into that one. And OpTic are clearly trying to make it a staple of their map pool, which is great to see. I'm all for more teams picking it up, considering the new Vertigo looks pretty sick. But now we move to Dust 2. BIG's pick, one that they've won every single time they've played this tournament. And, well, hoping to do the same, bring us to a third.
They kind of have to, right? Otherwise they're going out.
Die.
Yeah, no New York for you if that's going to be the case, unless it's going to be a random vacation trip in September. But
be a very sad trip.
What you have to, I guess, look at for obviously Vertigo, it does lead to a bit of a, I guess, a funky outlook for BIG in terms of what you want to, I guess, track as a positive or potential negative going into Dust 2. The fact that Tabson didn't have the greatest of games, it could just be down to unfamiliarity with the map in itself. But obviously, one of the things that carried them through in their early matches on Dust 2 here throughout this Invitational has been their individuals. Because again, pretty basic strats and so on Dust 2 from the side of BIG, and there hasn't really been anything wrong in that. But they've always had Xantares, Tabson, and Smooya, even Tizian yesterday, coming up in a big way to pull them through and win these matches.
Well, let's see if that is going to be the case in this one, because one more loss and they are out of this event. No time for any tomfoolery here. PT50 dropped to Tabson, got the Xbox smoke down. BIG are going to go quickly up the catwalk. Now, OpTic did lose a lot of health down middle. Config getting dinked by one of those Glocks.
But apparently, we talked a little bit back and forth with it. The Cajun move, apparently not permanent.
Okay.
More down to like that refresh on holiday,
break?
Yeah. Not a bad stand-in to get, though, if you can have Cajun on your team.
For sure.
Nico caught in the middle of no man's land. Still going to make it out. Actually, does not take a whole lot of damage either.
Yeah, BIG are not committing here. They have a Molotov. I wonder what that's for. Maybe just for the post-plant. Ooh, mid-air.
That's a quick one.
Great shot from Tessus. Gets dinked though, and that's 2 dink players now for OpTic, but they have the advantage in terms of numbers, and they're back towards middle and to B, but losing players on the way. Bomb drop back in mid. Xantares doubling up, but he's going to need plenty more where that came from, as there's been a car player this whole time. Great shot from Tabson. Both these players were dinked earlier on in the round, and oh dear, Config is waiting. He can just wait for that bomb to go down. Tap, 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 and there's gone Xantares. Tabson last alive, and Config just stalling as long as he can. Reload has to come through. Tabson tries to catch that rotate, but he's pinned between two. He needs to hit some headshots right here, right now, and he's not going to. That's a sick call from Config to just hide down at that car.
Absolutely. Super ballsy to re-peek, though, on Tabson with the 10 HP he had, but still works out. But yeah, the move there right there, because he pretty much had 2 options after his teammate goes down in B slope. It's either to completely flee from the bomb site, move into Upper Dark, and set up a retake, but then again, everyone remaining on the side of OpTic at that stage, super low HP. So how do you actually get back into the site? That's really difficult. Config probably making the best of it. Also going to win them out the round.
Just a flash through long, it seems. Tizian going to throw that, and out come the Glock train. This is never a fun round to play. But they might be able to overwhelm Tessus. He's alone here down in the CT spawn. That's the bomb first. They've got to pick that up, and they will, but Tessus will pick up 3. It's actually Nico stealing one of those away, but no one's complaining here. 1 death. OpTic will take a nice clean second round, and BIG coming in with a rifle.
So this is where we need to see BIG get some results out of their purchases. And OpTic obviously not going to be wielding an AWP or the best kind of rifles. No SGs, but enough nades and AKs to really be well equipped on the side of BIG here. Out towards long is where we go early on.
Yeah, maybe turn his back for a little too long there. Yeah. Eventually, you got to take the fight.
Right. Tabson gets 1 back, but look at the damage that's been dealt. Xantares down to 8 HP.
Big old grenades. BIG might just go straight into mid here. It is somewhat empty. There's a player in CT spawn. Config, no smoke down. He'll win that fight. Tizian getting picked up, and Xantares is still low here. Smooya needs to win this engagement, and he does. That still leaves Cajun inside of B. He's not going to push tunnels. Although it is empty, it would be a great call to make, but he's now scared of both positions. He doesn't need to be.
This is actually finding Xantares through the smoke. That's him on low HP, and MSL got the drop on Tabson. Smooya is the 1 high HP player left, though. they have that working for them. Cajun, not as tucked away as we saw Config being, but damage has been done pretty significantly. 1 HP on Smooya.
Flash could kill him at this point, and they have a molly as well. They actually picked up a second, so Smooya needs to hit some immediate kills as these CTs get into the bomb site, trying to dodge a flash, but molly landing on Xbox, not correct. Second one on the site, also wrong, but that's information gain for OpTic, the fact that he's not dead. He misses the opening shot. That will be his life gone. You only get one chance when you're up against MSL. OpTic will get the defuse, and that's a 3-0 beginning. Big's rifle round gets swept around underneath them.
It does. They do get the bomb plant, though, thanks to Smooya, so there is an option to potentially buy into this again. I was so sure that Smooya was going to jump up. With how he planted, sitting on top of the first box as he put down the bomb, that he was going for a quick peek in through window just to make it into 1v1. Decided to fade back, and as you said, once he misses that first opportunity on MSL as he strays past, it's pretty much a done deal.
Yeah. I mean, hard position to play as well. You have to hit headshots from that back plat if they come out through the doorway.
Yeah.
Very, very fast push for OpTic, and a third round locked in. Big do have the buy. Luckily, the bomb plant facilitates that, so Smooya getting the kill on Cajun does really make a whole lot of difference in this situation.
It does. Absolutely so, but obviously, an additional issue is the fact that OpTic keep winning around, so now they've upgraded their weaponry. You can see 2 AKs on their side, and Op out, Nico, donning an AUG.
Yeah, it's
Is that Smooya just trying to sell them on the idea that it's pistols?
Ah, certainly could be.
Because he has a scout, so there's no real reason to opt for a
I was
Glock over it,
why
right?
he was glocking that. Hey, that could be a cool, considering you usually, if you lose that round, you know, even with a bomb plot, you usually have about like 35 and can't really justify a buy, but Big actually had a little bit more. And, I mean, they're still saving money. But Tabson and Xantares are committed. They are balls deep in this one. Fully bankrupt. So let's hope they get something for it. Xantares clearing out close middle. OpTic passive setup. Nico watching it from the stack in CT. And he's seen a barrel as well, plenty of info. You get a bit of an advantage on these CT angles because you can see their legs before they can even see you.
Yeah. Speaking of things that things I'm not a fan of, and we talked about the shadows and whatnot. Nice jump there from Nico to get above everything. He's gonna see both.
Oh,
that's nicely done.
I'm surprised I didn't hear the molly hitting him. It tagged him in the chest.
Yeah.
That makes an audible noise, so a bit of an unfortunate one there for Big.
Might have expected him to, I guess, for that jump to be closed off with the Molotov going down, maybe therefore just falling back behind the smoke.
MSL, the turret on the A site right now. You can forfeit some ground, give them control towards the site, but even in the post plant, I don't think we're going to see Big getting much. A bomb plant would be great here, but actually OpTic are just going to try and hunt them down before it gets planted. Too late. Money's been made, but nothing else. Just Tizian alone on the site. He needs to go nuclear, and it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Split up from Catwalk, and OpTic are back in with the 4th round. Big, at least make that money, and they've got saved money, so yeah, something. They've got max loss now.
Yeah, it probably wasn't ideal considering the investment they put in, but yeah, as you said, they got max loss bonus. They did get a bomb plant, so Op's still going to be in the hands of Smooya. They're still going to have AKs and whatnot, but because, as you said, Tabs and Xantar is fully invested into that, they're not going to have all the utility that they potentially could have had.
It's still not really a worry, though. They got flash smoke, and that's kind of the bare minimum.
Yeah, again, if you want to set for quick strats and keep it pretty basic, as Big have done throughout the majority of their Dust 2 games so far in this Invitational, that's fine. That's all you need, really.
Orb peeking mid here for MSL. He's actually boosting above that smoke. Ooh, just to suicide, though. Not really much of an angle, and Big aren't sending anyone there. Missed shot from Smooya on long, and he gets out of there just in the nick of time as the Molotovs land. The boost does work out. Tabson thinks he's safe. He is nothing but safe. Or nothing but unsafe, rather. So an early pick for OpTic. That's a nice little gimmick to get yourself an advantage. And Big are now going to tunnel their way up towards Catwalk.
Again, Catwalk set up. There's only one player defending it. There's no real rotation here in time. One player in CT spawn who needs to be quick about it, but MSL needs to land a shot or two for this to work out.
That smoke has gone down again for Big. This is definitely purpose.
We saw, I think it was Windstrike when they played Dust 2 yesterday who did the same thing. But MSL found a counter to it. Get on top of the boxes to get some height. Trades going back and forth. This has been dinked up, but they still maintain the man advantage on the side of OpTic.
Plant is in, and this AWP is going to be so much better in the post plant as well. Can just lock down angles. He's spotted Tess is jiggling. Doesn't commit. Scared maybe he could get pushed up from the lower position, plus catwalk, but it's being covered by his teammate. And lower, with the flash comes Config, and that is such a clean retake from OpTic. Not even a point of damage lost in the post-plant. And that's going to be a 5th round. OpTic, I mean, you know, we can talk about Vertigo being expected, you know, they're dominant, whatever, Big don't know what they're doing, but I mean, this is really good from OpTic.
Yeah, this is super solid. Again, you see these neat little tricks. You mentioned the boost in mid, staying on that for long enough to find the opening frag. That does a ton to alleviate pressure. OpTic, again, just playing solidly. MSL also having the counter move to those 2 smokes that we saw being put down from Big side as well. They definitely know what they're going up against.
They do look like a whole different team right now. OpTic, a bit of downtime has done them a world of good, right?
Yeah.
We talk about teams needing a couple of months to piece together. Well, great work this summer and a break since that point. Well, look at the amount of progress they are continuing to make.
And to be fair, that is kind of key, and that goes according to script with MSL teams. Give them enough time to get back into the lab and do some work, and usually the results you get are pretty damn sufficient.
Get cooking in that lab.
Speaking of what they're cooking up right now, double ops. Cajun's picked up one. He's currently poached up in window, looking into mid. Double ops. Still pretty expensive affair for OpTic, even if they have had a 5-0 start. And Nico might just be holding on to that nade until Cajun spots anything at all. Again, name of the game is Catwalk for Big.
More smokes and flash to follow. There's only 2 CTs here, but that's a, I was going to say it's a good nade, but our Big were actually fairly passive because of the Molotov already being in position, so doesn't really do anything. Re-molly as well, can't catch a break. 2 mollies down, that's going to expire the life of the smoke pretty much, so now Big are really stuck with no utility. 1 flash left and they get good value out of it. Actually, another one coming over, and Nico, he gets a shot before it fully blinds him. Oh, this cook is getting methy indeed, and MSL getting dropped eventually, but that will be the only casualty of the round. OpTic are just absolutely beaning Big right now.
Yeah, Nico finding very good usage of that AUG as well. Very tight, it's not even angle, just very small amount of pixels that you can actually spot once you get up that A slope or spawn slope to peer towards Catwalk. So for him to have that extra scope, a little bit of an added precision, that actually does wonders for you. He nets 3 for himself in that one.
And I mean, these have been rifle rounds for Big majority of the time, right? Like they've
max loss bonus, getting bombs down. So
we're going to see the first real like deco round, or you know, half
not
buy.
Full investment.
Yeah. So 6-0 OpTic, they've had to work for these rounds, and they've done them very well. They've been clean. They've built up a huge amount of money. 5K minimum per player, well, 4 on 2 of them. So
yeah, but that's down to the op usage, I suppose, from MSL. It's going to put him a little bit worse for wear, but config, as you said, 8.450. He's doing fine.
Yeah. So back in for Big, and where do they choose to go with this investment? Obviously, yet to buy, but they may as well because they've got that big old loss bonus.
Yeah, might pick up a couple of flashes, a couple of smokes, see if you can get out onto long, see if you can do something funky. Instead, it's going to be a little bit of a mishmash buy. It didn't seem like they had a clear idea as to what they wanted to do. They've picked up, still buying, but that also gives away the opportunity to go quickly towards long. So we'll see what they can actually make out of these grenades. There is 5 smokes. There's a very few flashes as well, so maybe a mid-split is on the cards, or they might just go back. Ooh,
nice.
We get lucky to not die.
Still a pretty sick flick.
Are they just going to go back to Catwalk again?
Well, it's been so good for them in the past.
Yeah, none of them, a total of 0 rounds, and Smooya falls. Some of the utility gone. Well, not a whole lot of progress being made for Big now.
Yeah, Big desperately hoping that someone aggressives and walks into their crosshair, but I mean, OpTic, they're not even pushing a tunnel. They're just hiding inside of the B site. Their mid control is extremely passive. After getting that, you know, initial tag of the AWP, Cajun has just fallen back. He can re-smoke B. He can watch from the window and just drop into the site where Config has cover. And I mean, when Config's watching the tunnels for you, you know you're safe. This smoke is inquisitive, and it's going to land over long, giving, well, 2 of them, in fact, giving a lot of room for Big. OpTic want to flash through it, though. And Nico, 1 bullet, and he finds the head. MSL moving through the smoke does catch Tabson as well up on the catwalk. Tessis is already above the pit, and so even though these long smokes come down, there's very little value gained from them. Tizian gets a kill, and therefore a gun, but how much further can he really get?
Yeah, MSL, as long as he doesn't re-peak, there's no real reason for Tizian to be able to, well, there's no likely reason for him to pick up another kill. And as he tries to move out of pit, he gets found out. MSL picking the safer angle and off to get 7. 0 response from Big just yet. They will have a buy round coming in, but already it does very much feel like a similar trend to the game as we saw in Vertigo.
Yeah, I've seen those long smokes before where you try and like use them to cut off and get control along without having to, you know, so you don't have to fear car or sight or any AWP in CT. But I've never seen them throw from catwalk. Obviously the skyboxes are very open, but it's a cool little trick. And talking of tricks, they're going back for the mid boost, and NSL is up and above. That being said though, it's looking like a faster B approach for Big. Molotov will hold them in their tracks for a second. And Cajun, he's actually focused on middle in front of this smoke, so he needs to be careful. They're running through, and he catches Legia mid-air. Flashes are so good, though. That third one keeping him back even further.
Config, though.
Ooh, it's getting close, but Cajun's drawing in their attention, so Config's going to be even more effective. A one-tap onto Smooya. They to follow up, maybe getting a bit optimistic, but at this scoreline, I can understand why. Tizian double trade back.
Cajun's going to think better of it. He's like, we're losing a fair few players here.
Don't give them the 2-on-2.
And that was not the perfectly ran B strat from Big. Oh, no. Nicely done.
Tizian trying the old config here. I don't think they're falling for this.
No, there's no reason for OpTic to make any sort of movement before they hear the bomb being attempted to plant. So yeah, early.
Not interested.
Just denying him any sort of access to come outside the bomb side for the time being. But yeah, OpTic are going to play this as conservatively as you possibly can, and understandably so at that. Big's B execute, though, did not look very hot. You saw, I think, Cajun got flashed off the angle 3-4 times.
Yeah, and no one pushed in.
Nobody, yeah, exactly. Everybody got stuck around double boxes, and somehow Config is the one to get into the better position after a while.
Nico's only watching the walkout here, so Tizian, he can cross, he can get a bomb on the site, but he's not going to be able to get through these doors without losing his life. I like that setup as well from OpTic. Window being watched from back mid, and Nico playing just the last place you're going to check if you're walking through those doors. You're not looking close left, you're focusing more at CT than anything. But yeah, I mean, this is just stellar Counter-Strike being played from OpTic, and Big are out of answers. 8-0. The odds on GG.Bet, how expected. If anything, I think you're being nice to Big.
Yeah, right now it doesn't seem like they stand much of a chance at all, so
no.
We'll see, though. It's still early days, but this is definitely the best we've seen out of OpTic in quite a few months.
Config. Ooh, not aware they're up on catwalk, but the smoke should make that somewhat clear, so he's just going to back out of mid and give them position. Oh, that's an angle. Oh,
this is just kind of casually walks back into the angle and he gets taken down by Tizian. So finally an opening for Big, and
first time in a while.
They actually haven't moved out on it. They're a little bit scared. They're going to put down the corner smoke, and actually they're going to get a smoke wall down over towards long. So pit control is going to be theirs.
Ooh, unscope almost cost Nico a lot there. But the thing is, the smoke wall now has just slowed down the T's from actually getting any map control. Nico can safely move out.
Oh, he saw the boost and knew exactly where to go.
Yeah,
cool idea, I suppose, from Big, but it's so easily punishable.
And yeah, like the second they lose their cat player, it's like, okay, our entire team is trapped behind a long smoke. And if that boost doesn't work,
and it's our own long smoke.
Yeah, you're screwed. Smoothie's gotten very close. MSL's double scoped in. That's why you couldn't see him.
I was about to see,
But that's a bit of an awkward one, but he won't get much further. Nico's there, covering that cross to the AWP, and we'll be able to save it for the next round. Not that they need any more money. 9-0, and we've got players nearing 16K.
Nico's been such a beast over on that A-bomb site for the entirety of the game. He's had 17 frags.
Wow.
17 and 4. Yeah, and he's doing it all with the AUG. Again, we haven't seen too much of it. It's obviously not as much of a mainstay as it used to be before the nerf, but definitely has its uses, and Nico is making sure to educate the people on what positions you want to take that bad boy.
This game is what we call a schedule saver. Unless Big have any response. That flash not even going correctly into middle. Second one will. Leg is out and about, but he looks away at the wrong time. Nico just got into position. Unfortunate, but nothing you can do about that. Man advantage for OpTic, and mid conceded by Big. The molly will keep him out.
That seems like a bit of a desperation play, though. It's like we have nothing working for us. We haven't been able to grab the long control when we've had spawns for it. our cat executes are definitely not panning out. What do we do? Well, see if we can get lucky out mid.
I mean, they're trying boosts every round now, so...
Sound cue's given away as well.
Oh,
Flash does
good.
nothing.
Yeah, I mean, they've gone for 1B play this map, and it was awful. So I'd like to see them try it again, but actually hold W. Obviously, 4-on-4 here, so Big have a chance. That's a great flashbang MSL. Does he realize that Tabson's dropped into the spawn? I'm not sure how much value this can provide, because Smooya's already out into middle, and OpTic are hiding inside of the site. And yeah, MSL
knows.
He is very aware.
Still misses, but there's Tessus to help him out.
Now Big just have to go B, but 2 players here, and Cajun can line up multiple kills with the AWP, and he will. Bomb dropped, Smooya's last alive, and he is in an uncomfortable spot, to say the very least. They know where he is. And Cajun, he's not even going to take the fight. He knows he's up against an AWP, so he's just going to make Smooya walk out. There's 3 players in this B site. Molly back in front of the bomb. Smooya has to save, and that's exactly what he'll do.
So double figures as quickly as you like for OpTic. 10 for 10 in tries. And Big. The worst part for Big right now is the fact that they're not even remotely close to picking up rounds.
Yeah.
MSL is going to find the position of Smooya at the very least. We'll see how keen OpTic are to hunt for this. Obviously, they don't really stand anything to lose from this. And of course, with everything going the way it is, they would find Smooya after time runs out.
$200 to his name. It's like he's back on the bench all again.
About the same salary.
Well, actually, $250 is actually the exact amount that Epsilon paid Smooya.
Oh, when he was on the bench?
No, I'm kidding. Epsilon didn't pay Smooya. It's Epsilon.
Oh, man.
Very, very rough game right now.
Yeah, it's... I mean, well, I guess depending on what side you're looking at it from. If you're OpTic, you're loving life right now. This is fantastic, and you're not really making any mistakes. Even in these kind of scenarios where you maybe could see a very confident team get a little bit over-aggressive, over-eager, throw away some players here and there. They're not really even falling for that.
Even Cajun there, right? He gets 2 kills, he drops the bomb, and he goes, like, all right, Smooya's in tunnels with Norb. I'm just not even going to give him a chance. Like, just don't even give him the opportunity to get a kill.
Guess I've done my job.
Yeah, there you go. Rounds 1 as a result of you just hiding. Flashes to mid. Conflict's got to run. Run, because they are chasing.
Oh, this time they're going to smoke off mid at the very least, so Nico's not going to be as effective, but it buys more time for Cajun. Oh, Conflict's died.
Oh, Nico.
Elsewhere.
Oh, this is just like a deathmatch server. There's players all around, every angle. First 2-on-2 we've seen, I think, all game, really. Big have a chance of winning this round, but they have low HP. That re-smoke is going to be extremely important here for the likes of, like, yeah, boost up. Yeah, good call. I like this. This is not what OpTic are going to expect, but the thing is they're too close, so it won't actually matter. Reload coming through, and that should be somewhat clear. But really, no, that is just a bit too much in my opinion. Tabson jumping into the firing line, and Legia, he's gone behind the doors, but they should know where he is, or at least nearby. Molly on the site, and the double push back in. OpTic, plenty of time for the defuse. Oh, no, that Molly. Oh, it spreads. They might lose the round. No, phew. Tessus jumps on it. Just about enough time.
Yeah.
That was MSL's Molly as well, so that would have been very awkward.
You noticed that pretty quickly. It's like, I'm going to die if I stick with this.
Can you do it, please?
Come back, please. But look at that scoreboard. That's yeah, not a fun one to watch. Config is getting at 4 kills simply because he hasn't really been called upon that much. He's either been playing inside of B or playing close to mid doors, and most of the time he gets flashed off, runs into B, and doesn't really see any more people.
11-0. This is not the game I expected by any means of the word. No AWP here for Smooya either. We're back to rifles for Big. Going quickly up catwalk. OpTic. Got one man pit side. That's going to be Tessa's. AWP is boosted on the back box. It's an uncomfortable angle to play from because
they're going to do the same setup again. At least they section off Tessa's with this kind of a move, but...
Ooh, they're not watching catwalk.
Oh, Nico's going to go through.
That's ballsy, and it works out. He drops 2. Tessa's falls, and Tizian saving the day here for Big, at least temporarily. MSL only gets 1 from the site, and Smooya is gone. Cajun swapping out weapons will have been heard, but Tabson going to show his head. What? Cajun gets a free kill. Tabson watching the back of catwalk. Maybe misinformation there or confusion. And Tizian with no smoke for the cross has got to win 2 duels here, but they line up, and not in the way that he wanted. 12-0. Will there ever be a win for Big, or is this going to be a rolling?
I mean, the way it's looking right now, that in the previous round has been the closest Big have gotten.
There's been progress.
Pretty much. So, yes, progress in that sense, but at this stage, progress might be coming too late. And I guess, in one way, a big positive for me, I get justification of never having Dust 2 being your map pick.
You are so smug right now, right? You've been saying that all event long. Finally, it comes true.
Yeah.
Dear.
Big were living on a nice edge the entire time. No.
B-Rush.
There we go.
Fully blind as well. Conflict's been picked up. This could be it. They could break the curse. Cajun can't follow up with a shot. And Big 5-on-3. If they don't win this, then honestly just, yeah, I'm out. I'm done. So
I think they might be done as well at that point.
OpTic might just save. At least take a look, right?
Oh, they do.
What?
Maybe that spurs them on a little bit. It's not like they stand to not have the opportunity to buy if they do this, so.
Boost again, this could be a problem. Ooh.
Drop down, smoke comes in. Spots the shadow actually before the smoke blooms, so Tijian giving him an easy kill.
Just locking them inside of this site now, and you can see Nico's actually gone spawn as well to keep them out of tunnels. They can just hide in dark. They don't need to necessarily go and cross towards T-spawn, but playing very safe, flashing their way back in, and yeah, they're not going to go much further than this. They know they're safe. Like, 3 people huddled up in the B tunnels to save. That, if that doesn't show you how this game is going, I don't know what does. Big needed those players surviving. They needed the money, and finally they've got around to their name.
And that was the first time, well, we saw the previous B take they had. It wasn't a great one. They all got stuck by double boxes, even though they flashed off the offer of Cajun and Window multiple times. This time, they move on to the bomb site, and while the OpTic players are still blind, finally nets them around. But as you said, while there has been progress, it might be a little bit too late.
Oh, that's not the start Smooth would have wanted. Cajun quick peeking B and dropping the AWP.
Oh.
Nico back in middle. He's almost got a double. Tabson down to 25. The AWP also missing Cajun. A couple of awkward rounds, but Tabson going to get away dodged. 20 HP. And Big waiting for this smoke to fade so they can walk through B, but actually going to decide against it.
With Cajun actually moving back and forth between the window, he needs to be a little bit careful about his back because Config's playing in a position where he's actually going to allow some of the big players to come through unless he gets the flash for himself. Big, though. Going to rotate around, so we'll wait for the B bombs that they go over towards mid. On catwalk, Tabson at 20 HP is luring about. Smoke comes down, so that's going to buy MSL a little bit extra time. There hasn't really been too much movement on the side of OpTic. They haven't ever been pulled apart in terms of having to over-rotate towards a bomb site. So they should feel pretty comfortable with how they're situated right now. The only downside is that they don't have Nico potentially wearing up from spawn to help out MSL if he can't get multi-kills.
Flash for long, but not needed.
Again, you see the smoke setup.
Yeah.
MSL.
Oh, MSL's crashed. Oh, yeah. You hate to see it. Can he tab in time, or is he fully gone? We'll find out. This suspenseful moment, Leggy is just going to take that kill, easiest kill of his career, as a 3-on-3 emerges through the smoke. Big getting the bomb plant in. That's very unlucky timing for OpTic. Luckily, he got the flash off for long, not when that was needed. Config going to give it a go anyway. It's 3-on-3, so OpTic's still a very good chance. Tizian dinked. Luckily, Legia swings out to help. Cajun coming from the catwalk, and Tabson's posted with the AWP. You can't help but wonder how different this round would have been if MSL didn't have an issue. Tessis is going to try and attempt this. And it's still doable. I mean, Legia's still on the site. Not going to be aware of this. Legia? Oh my god. Oh my. That is just messy. And Tessis?
It doesn't have time.
No. Nice try, though.
He's not going to be able to survive here either. And Tabson might have sacrificed his op.
Yeah.
Oh well. Smooya at the very least has enough money, so I guess it's not the end of the world. But MSL, obviously, that was an unfortunate circumstance for him. You'd imagine he'd be good for, if not a kill, then at least some delay that allows for OpTic to shore up their defense a little bit better.
For sure.
Maybe that's how Big gets back into it. Who knows? 3 rounds that I guess it's not ideal, but it could be something to work off of. Even if you lose pistol, you get that 3rd round buy-in. You don't run against match point the entire time. I'm trying to be positive here.
The way this, you know, if MSL can't get back in, do OpTic carry on 4-on-5 and just say screw it? I guess I get Rugger in, right?
Yeah,
Which I kind of
I
like
know
to
Rugga
see
hasn't
them.
played in a while, but he can't be that bad.
Yeah, I kind of like to. Yeah, I mean, Big have a coach. It's it's
yeah,
back
absolutely.
and forth. It's fair. I wouldn't be against seeing 4 and 5 at this scoreline, just for the entertainment value.
I feel no, it's rarely as entertaining as you'd imagine it would be.
Especially when they take you to overtime on Mirage and you almost lose.
Oh. I mean,
We didn't lose, though. We didn't lose.
No, we
That's
won.
what matters.
Easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it wouldn't be the easiest time of it for OpTic to play with 4 versus Big.
No.
We'll see how long it takes. Obviously, not sure what happened. If it could have been a blue screen, could have been internet dying, could have been a lot of things, really.
I don't think it was internet because he ran to the right, which makes me think
if he times out, if he has, I guess, the movement command set in, right? If he's still strafing, it's still gonna run for a while until he gets back. It just doesn't stop flat. Nonetheless, though, gone from the server he is.
Yeah, we may have a bit of a moment on our hands.
We'll see, though. OpTic shouldn't be too frustrated by this. Again, it's just going to be one more round before we get into the half and get going again. So it's not like it's a mad break in momentum for OpTic by any means.
Yeah, I mean, even with a momentum break, they're 12-3 up.
You can't really blame that. Going into the second half, you can't really blame it. It's like,
it was the momentum break.
Yeah. If you hadn't timed that at 12-1, we would have won that so easily.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure it would have been easier, for sure. But,
absolutely, it would have helped, but I don't think
certainly not hard.
Exactly.
Right now.
We only lost because we lost a player at 12-1. Well, it's not the case.
Nico is 22-8 right now. You were singing his praises, and yeah, he is stepping up.
They're being this dominant without Config doing really anything at all, and that's not at his fault. It's not like he's been messing up or anything. He just hasn't seen that many players.
Yeah. Kind of chilling on B. We've had 3 B takes all game.
Yeah, at the most, right?
Yeah.
It's been a lot of focus on catwalk, and that's where Nico's been swinging it a whole lot of the time.
I mean, Config did his job with that sick pistol round play anyway. Past that.
That is true, actually.
There you go.
Impact frags. Yeah. There you have it.
Start
off to the right start.
Start off the momentum, right? They got them to this, 10-0, 11-0?
Guys, I've set you off in a good position. Now I'm going to chill back for a little bit. Let's take it from here. We'll move into it later on, but for now, there's still no word on what's going on with MSL. But there's some chatting.
Oh my god, they're going in 4v5. No, okay.
No.
Oh, damn. The pause ended. I was just...
For a second, I thought it might be, but this is, again, olden days, before you had to actually unpause for a second for a player connecting to get past the, establishing connection to the server, part of connecting to the server. Because you wouldn't be able to actually fully load into the game unless if the map was paused the entire time.
That's interesting.
You had to pause.
Is that because the pause they used fully, you type pause and everything just freezes and you can't
No. It's just the funkiness of, I guess, of the source engine, and so on, and also the gold source engine that they used for 1.6. But always had to do that, just quick on and off type of thing, as every helpful service employee would tell you.
Mm-hmm. You're always a wealth of knowledge with these little little
tidbits. I'm the only one still around from those days. Feels like only one old enough. No, but yeah, I don't think that's the case in CSGO anymore, though.
No,
I'm pretty sure
that's definitely not a problem. No,
they fixed that. The wheel of technology keeps turning. We move further and further away from those things.
But have they fixed MSL? That's the question that we're all wondering deep down.
You might need a hot fix. And again, I would assume there is a bit of a limit on how long they would play, or how long they can wait before maybe you have to call upon Rugga. Maybe we get to see the team dynamic player come back into action. It's been a while since he's been in a team. So, but he did have his heyday back in 2008-9-ish. So let's see if the old man might still have it. Still has a glorious beard at the very least.
Yeah, true Viking.
Absolutely. But yeah, OpTic obviously wants to continue this with their in-game leader, because that's obviously an additional thing. It's not like you're subbing out any sort of
it's
not like you're subbing out any sort of player. It's the brain behind the machinery.
And of course, can you imagine if they, went screw it, we'll just play Rugger, and then they lost? That would be an ouch.
MSL comes back, she's like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" She's like, "Oh man, I'm sorry, we dropped us too." It's like, what?
MSL is actually good news. How do you feel about Mirage?
Yeah, I was like, what?
We just wanted to play more CS.
That is fair. I guess if they win, they still get to play more.
Yeah.
Just one map less, potentially.
Whole best of 3 versus 4s coming up to, I again assume OpTic. They are a map up in 12-2 on.
It's looking pretty good.
It's looking pretty good. Yeah, that's a safe way of saying it. And 4s, I mean, talking of looking good, 4s are just on fire right now. I mean, you've obviously been at each one of these GG.Bet Invitationals for Chicago, Cologne, and now New York.
Yep.
And 4s have just been lights out in all of them so far.
Finals in each and every one.
Yep.
Barely losing to Liquid. Actually, in their Liquid matchup, they won one map on Inferno, which was the decider. It's 15-13 for Liquid. They've pretty much forced spot. They're in a 2v2 situation. Economy's broken if they lose that round. After plant for Force having to retake on the CT side. They have full HP going up against a really mishmash buy on the side of Liquid. Almazar times out the second he gets to bottom of mid.
Ooh.
And with the way Force were playing at that Inferno,
okay,
and at the stage with how Force were playing, you could have very easily see them picking up that 2-on-2 retake, going into a final round, potentially putting it to overtime versus Liquid that did not really have money.
And then losing that, and then going to the Chicago one, they win.
And then they can't get visas in time.
Exactly.
So they haven't had the best of luck in that sense, but at least they've put themselves on the map for a lot of people to see, because I think going into the very first Cologne qualifier, not a whole lot of people had expectations for Force to do well. I mean, they went up against Hellraisers in their first matchup, probably thinking, maybe they put up a good fight. They stomp the ever-living crap out of Hellraisers and just continue on. They've won out their groups in every single one of their invitationals as well, just straight all the way to the finals each and every time, and today is no different. So they've been super fun to watch. Hopefully they got their visa secured for the future, so if they win this, they would be able to attend New York. I'm assuming that came through after Chicago, right? You would have to imagine.
I don't know. I don't know if they got rejected or if they just.
I think it was just time issue.
Because the Invitational was quite soon before Chicago, if I recall.
2 weeks,
Yeah,
maybe 2.5.
Whereas the difference here is New York isn't till the 20th-ish.
Yeah, it's late September, right?
Yeah, late September. So we have over a month and a half. So in theory, there should be no reason why they can't do that. Also, the 4s, what game? Is this PUBG? I might be wrong on this one. The 4s PUBG or the 4s Dota? No, it won't be Dota.
No, they don't have a Dota team anymore,
4s PUBG team just got visas today for to go to the US for some event. I think it's PUBG.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Could very well be.
But I saw some 4s managers tweeting about how they just got visas. So that's good news. And those players are from Russia as well. So let's hope if 4s do get a victory later on today that they can secure those. And at least they have far more time this time.
Rainbow Six is what the game you're looking for. There we go.
PUBG.
So, if they can secure visas for those guys, then I'd say a fair chance of getting it for the CS team as well, if they were to manage to qualify.
Yes.
That really is the big one.
Because right now, with how OpTic are looking, bar the fact that MSL has just dropped, right? This team is looking ferocious. Vertigo was one thing, but now they're doing this on Dust 2 to Big. 4s have got their work cut out for them.
Absolutely. And if you think back to the Chicago qualifier that they ended up winning, they took out 2 Danes on the way there. They played OpTic in the semifinals. That was a 16-14 and a 19-15 2-0 win. So it's 2-0, sure, but it's as close as you could get. And this definitely looks like an improved edition of OpTic, to say the least.
Yeah, for sure. We had another drop, but they reconnected back in. Sadly, MSL has not. I wonder how long until they decide that we need Rugger.
Enough is enough.
Yeah, enough is enough. 4-on-5 or Rugger. I'm happy with either of those choices. Sub me in, I'll play.
Yeah, you got your mouse and keyboard all set?
Absolutely not. I've got a laptop back at the hotel though. I can run.
Touchpad?
No, I've got a wireless mouse. I'm not a cretin.
We'll see if it comes to that. If OpTic get that desperate, I'd imagine they probably find some sort of young Danish talent from somewhere, the streets of Copenhagen, to play for them if need be.
I'm sure there's plenty.
It definitely is. Always seems to be new Danish
shout
talent.
Out the window. We need a sub.
There's like 14 people come rushing down the door. all just obviously excellent in Counter-Strike. Have obviously watched a ton of OpTic games, knows all the strats. Wow. Let's see, still no word on what's going on with MSL. And judging from this, obviously it's not just a quick and easy fix. Apparently, we can only speculate whether it's
leaning towards either blue screen or internet issues.
Blue screen leading into
not the tab out that we originally suspected.
Yeah, because we'd seen that earlier.
Yeah.
Not with OpTic necessarily, but we'd seen it early in the tournament. I think it actually was on to big, but a little bit unsure of that. But I think while we wait for this issue to get sorted so we don't talk our heads off, we're going to head to a quick commercial break. But do stay tuned. We still have more Counter-Strike to be played. So we'll be right back when MSL decides to come back to the server. See you then.